Listen. Yeah. Yes, Lord. Get that out of there. See, we're drinking our water today. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Matty-Rants. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is a live recap review over the White Lotus Season 3, the finale, and sort of just to go over everything that happened this season and, give or take, was this worth the Season 3? Was this better than Season 1 or 2? Was this just good? Like, how do you feel about it? Or did it not live up to your expectations? If you have seen said season, or maybe this video will encourage you to try to get into the White Lotus Hotel and the scandals and the scandala that happens out there. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in and being here today. If you are in this live right now, make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Become part of this Rant Pack family. I need to adjust how this book looks. My Virgo rising just crept up on me and was like, I need Rue's face to be like there. Yeah, that's going to work better for me. There we go. Much better. As a reminder, I do cover RuPaul's Drag Race and the Lollapalooza lip sync battle reunion is tonight. So I will be covering that and, of course, posting my reaction on Patreon, and I'm excited to do that. I'm having high hopes for whatever is to come because the last Lollapalooza was a good time. So maybe this season will also bring it, if you will. And I'm crossing my fingers for the song choices. Also, new shows that are coming to the channel in the form of edited reviews. The edited reviews. It is going to be The Last of Us. That's also on HBO Max. And another show that I realized, oh, that's right, it is coming out very soon, if not already, is Black Mirror. So I will be covering the current season of Black Mirror and The Last of Us. Those will not be live reviews. They will be edited videos, and I post those weekly. Of course, The Last of Us happens on Sundays, so I will have my reactions posted on Patreon Monday, and then I'll have the reviews out on Tuesdays. With what's the other show? Come on, Matt. Oh, yeah, with Black Mirror, that's different because the show just posts all the episodes, this, that, and the other. And so for me, that's going to be more so once I see the episode, I will then record something and have it posted either that night or the next day. But do be on the lookout for those edited reviews and, of course, reactions to my Patreon channel as well. Of course, covering Drag Race, there will be some news. I'm sure that gets... And I'm not going to say nothing else, but I'm sure something else is about to pop off in a bit. And so we will be hearing about that. And of course, I'll be taking care of it and covering it. I'm not going to just say what it is, but you already know, this game. You know how this goes. And I'm also going to be posting some other things, again, edited videos. Like I said, I got that new camera and a lot of other new content to this channel, checking out restaurants like I was doing before. Those shorts were actually very good and a lot of people enjoyed them. And I want to just do some other stuff, if you will, with this channel going forward. So that way I can build a community and it not be something that feels stagnant. If you were on my Twitter or X this morning, I had a bit of a rough beginning to my morning, and it was just looking at my analytics and going over everything, and it just has not been going anywhere, and it's been more hurting than going forward. At one point, like in January, it was great, and then it just went again. And so for me, it's like people have found no interest with Drag Race this season as far as my channel is concerned. Maybe not like the other channels, but also with me covering other shows, it just hasn't been the same. So it did take me out a little bit, and I got really into my head and felt very much like I just disappointed myself in my audience. And so I did have a coming to Jesus moment, and I also this was therapy day, so I did talk to my therapist. So I feel a bit better, but just going forward, I am going to again try to do way more than I've already been doing. I do work hard for this channel, but sometimes I feel like I could do even more, if you will. And I don't want to get in my head again about it, but it just kind of sucks because you do put a lot of work and you do uh, have moments where you do miss out on occasions with friends. Like I miss out on a lot of stuff on Sundays with my friends all the time just to host the panel. But a lot of you enjoy that program. It's something that you look forward to. And I try to bring whatever I can to the table so that y'all can feast with me and just have a good time. So, it's been a little bit of a tough a tough couple of days for me just trying to get back into the swing of things. I know I talked about members only, and Liam has been really adamant about that, with letting me know about that Discord, but I've been very much in my head because I don't have the emojis that I want to have for the members only just yet. I don't have everything just set up completely because I've been just a lot going on in the background, some family stuff happening, and just other things that have been taking place, like my health recently. And I'm like, okay, like, come on, Matt, we got to get things together here. But, I'm just happy that I get to have a platform and I get to, you know, a blessing to do this with y'all every day. And each day that I do a video, and each time I get to see your faces in these lives, I am so appreciative of the conversations that you're having with each other, but also with me too, and the family that sort of has grown from this. So I really do appreciate y'all. I love you down. And yeah, so just wanted to say that before we start this up. So, you understand that my energy is good today, but I'm also like, we're going to get to the point. We're going to talk about the show. And then I am probably going to take me a nasty nap before Drag Race tonight, where I'm going to get the reaction posted as soon as possible, try to get my screen grabs early because I will be going live early again tomorrow. I believe. Where's my phone? I was like, hold on, where is my phone? Because I have to do another video tomorrow. And hold on, let me make sure I have this correct. Why is this not on the top of my head? Okay, boom, boom, boom. No. This was before. Okay, boom. 3. Okay, yeah. So it will be around 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And after that, I will be doing a video with Valerie Vision. So shout out to Valerie Vision. So that'll be something I got to film at 3. And then I have plans that night because I haven't seen my friends in over 3 weeks, almost a month since I was sick. And I didn't get to see them last weekend. And there was another weekend where other people were out of town. So it's just, we have to like come together. Because again, these are my trip friends that I'm going on a trip with soon. So it's like we have to see each other. But anyway, to this show, to everything that we need to get to today. So all my links are in the about section. I do have a Patreon. I did react to this episode for as low as $1. You can tune in. We can get into more details with those links later, but yes, please tune into those other programs and such. And thanks for being here today. I don't need to really throw up a disclaimer because I'm not going to drag anybody today. This is a movie show review that we're doing, a TV show review. So I'm not really going to go there today. But if you did want to drop a little love in my jar, please and thank you. This is PayPal.me/MattyRants, Cash App $Matt924, Venmo MattyRants, or Cash App $MattyRants. Anything and everything is super appreciated, and I thank you for tuning in and supporting your boy Jay Lee. I do want to give a shout out to you. Shout out to Jay Lee's Corner. I am a subscriber of your channel and a big supporter of you. So keep shining, Maddie. We love you and we support you. I thank you, my baby. And I appreciate you, Jay Lee. Of course, you're more than welcome to come back to the panel anytime. We've had Jay Lee on the panel before as well. But yes, sorry. Your boy was an emotional wreck. I was listening to a lot of Whitney Houston today. I'm laughing, but it's the truth. A lot of Janet, but not like the new Janet when Kaya was introduced, and that was like a part of the downfall. I was like, when you associate, with like vermin, it just, that's what happens, right? But I was listening to Where Are You Now? And then I was on that album, and then I was on the Everywhere I go. Velvet Rope today, as well as it was Whitney, Janet, it was Mariah, it was old Beyonce. Like the first album, I was in my emotions today, and I was trying to gather my center again because I was just gross beginning of the day. So wrap that all up, but we're gonna get to it, y'all. Thanks for being here. This show, I don't get people not liking the White Lotus, and that just may be my bad. It really just might be. Let me get this image up here. I don't know what I'm doing today. I'm already moving a little quickly here. Here we go. I wonder. Yeah, let's do that. The idea of the White Lotus, and I hate to say it, and it's 11 minutes in. I hope I can get away with this. I haven't swore at all today. It's about the edging, if you will, the anticipation before you get to the finale, because the beginning of this show, it starts off with what is going on. And then it just takes you into something very peaceful. Everybody seems to be okay. There may be something a little bit off, but you sort of want to dive into the stories of whatever individuals are giving us the options of figuring it out. And with the White Lotus hotels, they're basically these big luxury hotels that whoever's going to go there has some cointadas or happen to be lucky enough to be able to go there. And it's very exclusive. So it's like we don't need to worry about a bunch of people to focus on. It's very okay. We have this group that just so happened to arrive on a boat. We had these people who got off the plane. They just so happened to be in the taxi together, and it focuses on those stories. And then we have this friend group. We have Belinda, who is from season 1 of the White Lotus, whose story continues here through season 3. We have this rich family, rich Southern family, very much of the upper echelon that's coming out to Thailand, don't have no kind of culture, no kind of sense outside of their whiteness, all tea. And they have to come to some stuff, which is very interesting. You've got Rick and Chelsea, which I'm going to be honest, one half of that story, they got what they deserved. The other half of that story, I feel bad for, but I also have to say, well, you kind of wanted that, you kind of chased that, you saw the signs of that at the same time, was very shocked at how that went down. And I was appreciative of one ending very much, but I also had questions for it. And then another one, I thought, okay, I'm kind of glad that's how that happened. There was another one that just sort of got me there, but we'll get to it. But yeah, this season was good for me. I very much enjoyed it. Thought it was a good season overall. When I rank it in between 1, 2, and 3, it's better than 2 for me personally. I did like other stories outside of Tanya's on season 2. And the thing about it is I loved Tanya's story on season 1, hated how it went down for her on season 2. There were iconic moments for her on season 2, but her ending was trash to me. And then I forget the man's name, Greg, got away with it, and now we're over here. And sort of for me, I hated that a lot. Aubrey Plaza definitely was one of the highlights of season 2 for me, and that whole situation with the cheating and not so much and this, that, and the other, like all of that kind of mess. But like, I just didn't care for the way that ending went down with season 2. And I is how I felt. Is how I kind of felt about it. Where season 1 was a total blast for me, and it was also very shocking at moments because it was the first take of like, oh, the show is going to go there. We're gonna do this. Whereas season 3, I did enjoy the ride. I did really like waiting each and every week to watch the episodes, but for me, I was digesting some of the stories more and I was finding more relatability to them than others. And I think that's kind of the point of why he wants to give us different takes versus us just focusing on one person or one family, one group. It's like, no, you need different stories because this is a hotel, an experience. And you know how it is when you're even in a restaurant or you're somewhere in public where there's a lot of people, you're going to pass by conversations. You're going to hear things that are going to make you go, what? Or maybe possibly that's boring, but like you find yourself mixed up in a world for a moment where you travel through bubbles to get back to your own. You don't know if people are listening in on your bubble. I don't know. This is how I kind of take life, for example. And maybe that's sort of the, I don't know, the ADHD in me and not being able to focus on one thing for way too long, but needing to focus on multiple things at a time so I can like actually function a bit. So when I'm in restaurants with people, even on dates, I'm listening to my date, but I'm also listening to people behind me. I can hear the people right over here. Somehow I'm in the kitchen and I can hear the server doing the most. And obviously she don't want to do her job, but this one want to do her job. And then here come this guy and doing all this kind of stuff. That'd be me. I kid you not. That's me. And I'm still focused on my date or I'm still focused on my family in the conversation and I'm able to banter back, but I'm also fully aware of every conversation. That's why when I say people are being kind of like trying to be tricky and talking that on the side, I'm always clocking. I'm always clocking. I can hear you. I can see it. We can read it. Body language is strong as a mother. Like, you know it. And when the girls want to turn and look your way for a little odd second or give something to somebody else, what's that about? We need to talk it to the table because you shouldn't be moving that kind of funny. Either way, this is how I feel about the White Lotus. It is one of those moments where we're passing through different bubbles and we're seeing the full outcome of their situations, the resolutions to the problems that they had going in there, or possibly the questions that needed to be answered. And that's why I love the show. So I could start here, but we're going to get to Belinda's story first. Only fair since she's from season 1. And honestly, I think we all were very worried for what would happen to her. We, again, saw season 2, and I was afraid Mama was going to be tossed off the boat or some sort of stupid ending that they would give to somebody who honestly is one of the flagship characters of the show. Because in truthfulness, Natasha was one of the best additions to the first season. And we loved her story. And then when Tanya did her so damn dirty for this man, let's be very clear. And I've seen the banter online about Belinda. I've seen it. It's really messed up what she did to old boy because they were supposed to get a spot. No, 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 we're not. No, 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 no. We're not doing this today. Tanya was going through grief, passing of the mother. Boom, needed to get her life back together, found Belinda. There was this whole friendship situation that happened with them. They were building something together before she found that man. And then when she found the man after already promising the money and basically, I'm going to help you and doing, and literally did all of that, she gypped her. Turned it, flipped it, backed around, gassed like the full bit, like all of that, and really stopped her from like continuing what she was going to do after building this relationship with this woman and being at her beck and call, if you will, for her emotional support. I'm sorry. I'm with AP. It was pillow talk. There was no confirmation code, if you will. And they slept together one time. There was no, you're my man. They talked about a business together. But let's be clear. Belinda's not coming from a background like Tanya of having immediate wealth already. Tanya was already rich before she was rich. Belinda been on that struggle forever. And she just now got to a position to where she has money and she can just do something that is actually free for herself and explore another side that she's never been able to explore. Again, when you have nothing and then you get everything, All previous thoughts of what you were trying to do are going to disappear. Now, she also is taking this money from this man who, at any given time, could turn around and take her out because she knows his business. And if he gets got, then she gets got, and all of that. Because now she's wrapped up in this. Because, mind you, the whole deal was he was going to give her $100,000 to keep her mouth shut and she could start her business. Because that's honestly what Tanya was going to be offering in the first place. And that would be great startup money. But her son was like, no, 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 no. I'm a business major. We can negotiate a better deal. Like, you're trying to keep this man from going to jail for taking out his wife, and they're already looking for him, and they can't find him. And he's in Thailand having issues with having sex with his wife because he has fantasies over seeing his dad and his mom back in the day, like plow out and being a voyeur, if you will. And so he needs his wife to get off. Like, that is a whole nother storyline that I thought was so wild. And I was like, oh, so is that what the issue was with Greg with Tanya? That he needed someone to mess with Tanya? Like, is that what was up? Because no, he still wanted to just get her for her money. And he wasn't really interested in her like that, if you will. But I'll be quiet there. I'll get back to this. So he negotiates instead of $100,000, he goes to $5 million. Belinda had like 20,000 in the count. And I'm like, okay. Like 5 million, mind you. She gets up from the table like, I can't believe you're doing this, rushes off like, what the hell is going on with the deal? And she turns around to her son and is like, I need him to think I'm distraught and I don't want to do this, and I have to go off and tell these things, and I need you to go back in there and close it and say, once again, if we confirm this number and handshake on it, I'll make sure she keep her mouth shut. And that's a word on me as her son. Now y'all are not clear. Now y'all not clocking in. This is why I was living for the scene. If y'all saw my reaction on Patreon, I was like, baby. Belinda has introduced a bloodline to the person who has the power to change everything, whether it to be to take her life or to give her another chance at a different life, by simply keeping something quiet. And now you've brought your son into this, who is now a part of the deal. Again, another reason why she didn't go off with this man. Because she's more than likely going to finish paying for his school. She's going to go and disappear. He's going to finish whatever he needs to finish. He's more than likely on his last year of school or whatever. Hello? Or student debt. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, let's say he's finished with school. Now they can pay the student. All that debt, she's gone. And she gets to go disappear. She can come back to this man. Now, he may move on. But let's say she come back. Mike doesn't give me that he's going to wrap up their story just like that, as you can see with bringing her back. This is why I'm going to find this interesting if there is a moment where Belinda does reappear, and it is to simply try to do this business that they want, or if there's a moment where we see Belinda again and she's visiting a White Lotus location and oh boy just so happens to be working there, like how she was working at this one, trying to learn some more of this, that, and the other. I moved and I tried to find a new location. We shall see. But to me, I'm okay with Belinda not being with this man, and I'm okay with her not starting a business, and I'm okay with her not ending in a noble way, because she didn't get the money in a noble way, if we're going to be honest with you. She could have easily ratted out that man. Probably was an award for him just to find his location or whatever. Got him arrested, whatever the case may be. She made the bigger deal. She made the better, well, maybe the better deal, but she got the most out of it this way. $5 million would change someone's life. 20,000 in the account to 5 million. There is a little tinge in my heart when it comes to this man and how he felt in the face that was made when he had to wave goodbye. And I felt bad for him. But I wanted Belinda to get away from this situation so bad, because once old boy was reintroduced and we knew, oh, he knows now about the tunnel. Oh, now they know. I just needed her to live. So I'm hoping that we don't have a situation like an American Horror Story where we need to reintroduce a character back into one episode of another season for some odd reason just to kill them. Gabourey Sidibe, American Horror Story Hotel. Prime example. I know she was resurrected, but that was still one of the wackest things Ryan Murphy has ever done was make Queenie come back into, like, why of all the cast people, like, we liked Queenie, like, there, you could have brought back in someone else, like, please. I'm still mad about that. Like, I loved her from Coven so much, and then we bring her for Hotel just for her to get got. That was so boo, boo, boo. Hated it. Boo, hated it. Anywho, I'm happy for Belinda. But this guy, I don't think we're done with him either. I don't think we're done with him. Maybe we can be, in that him and Belinda can just have this moment and they can just move on from it and they got away with it or whatever. And that's that. That's fine. I'm fine with that too. But if they're not done with him, don't pull Belinda back in to get got. Pull her back in to get something. I don't know, but don't pull her back in, Sweet Pea. I need her to have a good ending. I need her to be on vacation for one of the episodes, please. You know, Chelsea was one of my favorite characters this season on the show, and she was such a bright force and bright light, and she was the best thing that Rick ever did have on the show, because Rick was deplorable. Rick was gross. Um, and Chelsea being so centered and always seeing the best in people, it really sucked where this went. So I'm gonna, as much as I love Belinda's, and this is how I did, if you can tell how I did the stories today. I'm like, yes, kind of so, maybe no, right? I don't like how they did her. I do not like how it was done. It was a bit wild. So let's just get to it. The following day, after, we'll get to Saxon and his family, but Saxon low key survives an attempted, from his dad and some damn smoothie. Okay. But he goes out there and he sees Chelsea, and he's been reading those books that she's recommended. And I think this was one of the moments when we realized that Saxon is a human. He is not just simply trying to be this guy, but he's only known that because that's what he was told to be. That's what he was celebrated for. That's what was the driving force for his character. And he had some woman challenge him that he found attracted, and put him into a different headspace of thinking, because once he started to read and he started to think, it was like, oh, I think I kind of get it now. And there is a little bit more to life. And while I may have my own way of taking it, it did open him up, because he experienced something with his brother that he didn't want to, that challenged him as a person. He met these two women who clearly put him in positions that he never thought he would face. And he, again, like, was having to be detached from his family, which was the driving force for his character. Once again, it's interesting to see Saxon's development. And as much as I could not stand him as a character for the first several episodes, I did like where this went with him at the end, and I did feel bad for him. And I gotta say that he is definitely a better actor than his father, because I was like, I hated this man, and then I felt bad for him. Damn, that's acting. I was like, that's a sign of a good actor. Dude. You hate them, they take you down that roller coaster of what he was supposed to be. And I thought Mike did a very good job with his character. But Chelsea sees Rick after he returns from Bangkok from scaring this man that allegedly took out his dad. Oh, baby, that twist was nasty. We're going to get to it. Oh, that twist was nasty. That was my favorite part of this episode. I screamed when they said what it was. I was like, I had a feeling. I was like, what if? But it is what it is. Rick finally can shake the monkey off his back. He can finally let go of the grudge that he's held for so long, because he feels vindicated from, I guess, facing the person that took everything from him. And now he has Chelsea and all that kind of good stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And we see Saxon kind of broken, because that's what he wants. somebody through flaws and all to find a soul connection with that can see him outside of the vessel. Deep. I was like, this is great. Go ahead, give him an Emmy nomination just for this little moment of him turning around. I was like, whoa, ate that up. Male emotions done. I was like, yep, that was right. That was done perfectly. Rick has the did not tell y'all. Did not tell y'all. I told you this is what was going to happen. You did all of that to the owner of said establishment. Okay. You even were aware they were coming back. I was so confused with how Rick thought this was going to go down. She knew that you stayed at the hotel because you met her at said hotel. You then went to Bangkok. You then saw her at her home and did all of that, ran off, came back over here like breakfast continental was served. You are kidding me, bro. This man rolled up, and I'm talking about one of the biggest draggings I have ever seen on television. He read Rick to kingdom come. Read his mother, read him. And what's kind of funny was the whole father situation. Like, that's what's wild about how he talked about it in this moment, because he never gave it away. And I think to myself, why didn't he just tell him? What would that have done? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that is just it. He didn't want Rick. He wants nothing to do with him. He didn't want his mother. Your mother was a liar and the drunk and blah, blah, blah. Did the mother trap him and try to trap him? I said, oh, girl. And that's where it was. And that's where all that talk about he killed her and made that story up about that man so that he can go out and seek vengeance on behalf of. Oh. I'm not finding it funny, but I'm just, to me, that, okay. Again, never gave that information away that we're going to release it in just a second, but he read the dog shit out of Rick. So much so that Rick crashes out. Like, baby, when I say this man sat back at that table, it was done. like he couldn't even process the moment. He couldn't process what happened. Like, Chelsea's over here, what's wrong? The energy completely changed from this man. You know what I'm saying? And then he realizes that the hotel owner looking like, that's him. That's the one. Go get him. And they about to do Rick in. When Rick tried to even like hit the man, hit his own dad. Oop, gave it away, but try to hit this man. He showed him the gun like, I wish you would, boy. I will blow you out. Boy, I said, what? Now, mind you, Rick was running all over the temple. I mean, running all over the hotel. And isn't it funny that Rick went right back to the lady who was the therapist, who was trying to tell him to let that shit go. You couldn't listen to Chelsea, though, when she told you the same thing. You're now running all over the place trying to find an answer, trying to find something for this. I thought that, now that's what I took in of this situation in hindsight. He, once again, just like with the snake thing, oh my God, oh, I did something wrong. You reacted and then you did something, and then look what happened. And you got somebody hurt, right? And so now the consequence for you not finishing the job that you were supposed to do, because you were supposed to go take that man out, you punked. You scared him and you thought, that's right. He's old. He's fragile. He ain't nobody. That man came up and rolled up on you with a pistol and said, bitch, you ain't shit and your mama ain't nothing. And there it is. That is literally what happened. crashed out. Then they're going to get this man out of here. We about to get him out. They probably going to rough him up and do all the worst to him too before they even throw him out the White Lotus. Probably get him arrested. Because Miss Mother was like, you going to make me be a movie star again? And that was a lie. And you did all that to mess with my husband? Oh no, he was about to be gone. It was about to be over for Rick. So he see the couple. And of course, we're going to talk about the friends, but he sees Lori and them taking a picture because she's a famous star. He still got the gun. No, I'm sorry, he doesn't have a gun. He rolls up on the man, takes the gun out the holster. F you. We find out that was his father. The person who his mother said was taken from him by this man. And that their life was ruined because he wasn't there. Because he allegedly took out the father. But in reality, he was his father. I screamed. I said, what in the Tyler Perry for white people is going on today? I screamed when that happened. I was like, you are lying to me. And then it all kind of made sense. I said, oh, okay. And she was bitter and she wanted to get it back. Mind you, okay, like that's really where it was. Oh, I said, oh, that woman's passing left a grudge that she held on that man, on her child, that he carried, that he was never, ever able to remove, to ever get help for. He carried that. And when he actually had the opportunity to do it the first time, he didn't do it. And when that man came over there and dragged him by his last strand of frontal hair, he said, fuck it. Just like with the situation with the snakes. And I needed, he said that and took out his own dad. Now, mind you, I feel like if Rick had approached the situation that happened when they were in the house, okay, and he actually talked to that man and really discussed his mother and went down the line of things, I think Rick would have actually got some answers. I think if Rick had went in there and actually just thought for a second outside of, I need to do this for my mother, and I made us feel, if he just went in there and talked to that man, because while he was trying to remember who she was, because he is older and it's been a long time, he had time to think after you did what you did. He had time afterwards to go, oh, I now remember who the fuck that bitch. Let me tell you something, okay? You know how some older people are. They be like, give me some time to process this. Give me some time to process what just happened. And then when they do, ooh, the flood of the memory. I know exact to the T. And that's what happened. He jogged his memory and just really talked it out and asked questions versus just action. Maybe he would have found out that man was his father early. Maybe he could have the conversation why he left his mother. Maybe he could have understood what the real situation was. Maybe that could have actually been the resolution he was looking for and could have walked away from. That didn't happen. You are now the person who took the thing away that made you mad in the first place from the person who was supposed to love you, that was bitter that this man didn't want to be with her. he was a pawn for his mom the entire time. And he carried that for his entire life. And Rick never sought help because he felt that was right. Deeply bitter irony, Joel, is heavy on that. And to me, it's deep because it's a lesson. I think with the writing, when you look at this sort of like, please don't carry your parents' trauma with you and don't place something on yourself that for you is literally hurting you. It's eating you inside. Does it actually really need to like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, is it really that deep? Is this is what it is? Like, is it that big of a deal? I know there are some things where it's like, oh, you can't do this or you can't. If it ain't for you, baby, it's not for you. But to me, this, I don't know. I was like, oh my God. I screamed. But then there's a shootout. Pow, 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 pow. And Rick takes out both of the bodyguards for the hotel owner. But in the process of the gunfire, Chelsea is shot. Once again, Rick has led this girl into a deadly situation, if not death already. Just like with the snakes, same thing here. And the thing is, Chelsea's whole entire aura is, this is my soulmate, and I have to protect him. I have to make sure he's good to go, not realizing that this man is so toxic for her and is so not healthy for her. But there's love. There's the side that we don't see. It's all of that in a very ABU, I can't finish the rest of it relationship. And it was, for me, that's how I took it. This was the view of seeing someone follow the devil to hell, if you will. Follow someone into their grave. Kevin, oh my God, you're not that Mookie Cookie. I am through with you. I'm gonna get to their story too, because it was short and sweet to the point, and it was like, But Gatak ends up shooting Rick, and they fall into the pond. Chelsea and Rick together. And that is the end for them. And that is who got at the beginning of the episode. I mean, at the beginning of the season in season 1. And they show this play-by-play with everybody and where their locations were. That's who got. It was Rick and Chelsea. They were very doomed from the beginning, the energy and everything up. But if we really want to think about it, Rick is the ultimate 80, the 80-20. Rick was the 80 as to why everything bad that happened to Chelsea in reality as well as to himself. But Chelsea was the 20 because all she had to do was detach. She low-key could have had Saxon. Now let's say Chelsea had actually gave more to Saxon because there was something that was flaring and she chose to run away from it because she's like, no, it's Rick. And I've been with Rick and I like Rick and I'm there with Rick. But there was something with Saxon for a second when she saw Saxon trying. And she saw a man that was trying to do something that she liked versus what, hello, Rick never does it. Like, she's always just, it's okay. Da, 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 da. Rick don't be doing nothing for her. Feels like a physical relationship that turned into something that she tried to maternalize for him since he had mommy issues, and she fell into that trap of basically a pit of a man who honestly could not get away from his past and needed to execute everything around him until he finally had peace, which was death. And that is sad. Romeo and Juliet's a good way to look at it, or a good modern Greek tragedy for sure. Very that. These two. I disagree, Matty, because I think Saxon would have gone back to his own self once he bedded Chelsea. No, I'm not referring to like the initial state where they had the sex and did all of that. I would more so feel the moment that they were in the bedroom and they were having a conversation about like healing and like meditation. That's when Saxon was like, I'm going to start thinking about things a little bit differently. And so, like, let's say, for example, like this morning, whenever Rick did show up and she decided that actually, I'm not going to go back to Rick and we need to talk about this. And she chose Saxon as someone maybe that she keeps in contact with, would have been probably a better take for her, as Saxon was going into a healing place versus Rick, who in reality, his healing was revenge. And that really was never resolved because karma that goes around comes around. That's kind of what I was referring to, but I do see your point of view. If it was like the first couple of episodes, or at least when they were doing the Uggs on the boat, and if they had slept together prior to him even picking up a book and reading in the first place, which again, his sister was like, "Are you reading? And what are you reading? Something deep? Profound? Couldn't be." Gatuk and Mook. Okay, so I called this. I called it. I called it. I was like, oh, he's going to do something to save the day and he's going to get a promotion. And like, that's going to be the whole thing. I was hoping that he would realize for his own self, that maybe he just didn't want to go this route and possibly just chose peace. And that Mook wanting more of him was something that just he didn't need to have because he was okay with whatever he had. However, Gatuk wanted Mook. And at the same time, I think he was under that, what's the word? You feel like he can't do anymore because you've already done enough, and whatever you feel that has worked out for you without taking risk has kept you at peace. But what will a risk? Is there what was it? The reward without the risk part of it, like taking that risk and doing something more, like shooting that person, which was Rick. Making that decision, mind you, because he was chasing after Mook, got the place robbed. Mind you, we know that it's Valentine and his Russian friends who robbed the place. He never ratted on them because he's talking about, oh, we'll get deported, we need this, da 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 da. We all have a whole lot going on. Never ratted on him. Instead, his answer came through Rick and Chelsea, which I thought, okay, that's again needed to be done. But I thought that was wild that he never snitched on this man who low key, huh? See what I'm saying? It's like they had to make different decisions to have different outcomes, where you could have made one decision and then what would that have done for you later? And would it have served that purpose that you needed to get you where you needed to go? Or like, are you going to go this route where you do let someone pass by? It is wrong. You didn't do it, but you know they did it. But then you're put into another position where you now have another moral conflict, right? You have to get through. You make that decision, and then all of a sudden, everything changes. I think that's interesting that some of the values that we do hold as people do change over time. And, this is also people who have very negative opinions or values, hate in their heart, and they're like, I'm open now. The Jesus lady from the Wife Swap show, for example. It's just interesting. I don't know. They got away with it. I'm sure they're not going to do it again. I think he was more in line with like, they're not going to do that again. It was a tough situation. I'm going to let that roll. But the other thing I'm going to have to do, but now he's the head of security since all the security guards are dead that were covering her. Him and Mook are good now. Like, I guess they're dating or whatever, and he's in charge. A lot of people kept saying they saw more in him, but he didn't see it in himself. And then he became a hero and now moved into a better, higher position. So their story was cute, but I was like, oh, okay. Not gonna lie. Once that was done, I was like, oh, okay. Well, thank you. That was fun. They were there. Cool. The friend group was one of my favorite storylines of this season. Mind you, after Lori came back from her crazy night, it was a moment of feeling some sort of judgment from the other two, and a little bit of an explosive moment that happened with them and being honest. And so there was a little bit of a separation where Lori just couldn't have that, mind you. Lori felt bad about it after Kate, again, being the middle, was like, all right. And Lori apologized, but sorry, not Lori, Jacqueline, excuse me. Jacqueline apologized. Jacqueline, the actress, apologized after Kate did what she did. Excuse me. Jacqueline. Lori received it, but was like, I still need some space. Oh, it's been late. Blah, blah, blah. She kept herself away from them for just a second until they got to their final dinner, where they did have a conversation that was deep, and I got emotional over Lori's words and her just being honest at the table. Mind you, I'm a Christian now, but just hearing that of we can be, I was heavy. Mind you, I'm about to have my trip with my bestie, so like this like hit home for me. But it was, them giving compliments to each other, this, that, and the other. But when Lori had to talk, it was, I love your face. I love how you handle your life, and I'm okay with me. The I love yous were unscripted. Wow, that's crazy. But when she goes, I honestly don't have a belief system anymore. And that made me feel like I didn't have anything going on and what I had here and what can I bring to the table. But at the same time, I'm actually okay with that. And I'm just happy to be here with y'all. And that's fine with me. You know what I mean? And that's okay. But that's what we saw the whole season, DMR. We saw the disconnect that she already knew was up. Like, mind you, Jacqueline's progressive, Lori's, an atheist. And Kate is a Christian through and through. And so there was already these moments of a disconnect. Then, of course, with Jacqueline being a star, everyone knowing her, Kate and Lori can't relate. They all have their own separations. But with Lori, hers was where she is in her life right now. And we all have this with our friend groups where there may be somebody who could have done more than you, which isn't necessarily you not being as successful as them. We all have our own versions of success. That's what I kind of took from this, is that Lori maybe wishes she made different decisions. And she thought about that for a while, and it ate up her bad. And with Jacqueline, I'm just happy to have my friends here, but also Jacqueline has her own insecurities, just like Kate does. But with Lori, and I think that Lori was our focus this entire time from this group, not Jacqueline or Kate, but it was really Lori, about being that person that finds themselves disconnected but still connected, and realizing that you do have a place at the table. It's just your place. You don't have to be Jacqueline, and you don't have to be Lori. You can just be, I'm sorry, these names. You don't have to be Jacqueline. You don't have to be Kate. You can just be fucking Lori. They love Lori. Okay? But I loved it. I did. I got so emotional because I'm like, this is deep. Because even, let's say, with my group of friends, we're all doing completely different things. And there may be some people who are in the same field of work, but everybody's doing something different. And then outside of that work, what are your relationships like with other people? There are friends outside of the friend group. There are pockets of all these different things. And then when you come back to the nucleus center of that group, what do you bring to the table? It is you. And that's why you're at the table. You fight, you kind of get over it. You laugh, you love, you fart. you eat from the same plate. You get different dishes. You're there, but those are your people. You've spent time with them, and you know them best. And so, yeah, that was deep for me. I was emotional watching this part. I was like, oh my God, this is heavy. And they recognize each other, and there's respect. And so the trip was needed for them for sure. I think more for Lori than anybody. Because, she carried a lot of resentment, and she did carry a lot of things that weren't resolved back in the day. And a lot of them had things to say too, but I think they were more past it than she was. Mm. It was good. I liked it. It was very. And Carrie Coon, give her more things to do. Give her more things to do. Give her more work. That's the only Coon I like. I can't. Oh man, I didn't even need to do a disclaimer, but yeah. Oh, I cannot. I will not. And I did. But thank you all for tuning in. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Become part of this Rant Pack family. Appreciate you so much for being here today. I gotta do something real quick. Real quick. Hold on, just an Osmosis Jones moment. I gotta do something to make sure something's done. And Sorry. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I forgot I had to pay a bill real quick. And I just remembered what time it was, and I was trying not to spend that money, but I realized I got to because she's broke. Wow. It's a good time to say thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Become part of this Rant Pack family. Drop a tippy poo in my jar if you feel like it. And I appreciate you for choosing me today to have a good old time. Yeah, this is how we do it. Da 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 da. Repaid. Double taken. We had to put the CVCS up with code in there. I don't even know what the hell I just said. CVSOP. Okay, moving on to the last part of the White Lotus this season, and that's the family over here. Come from this rich background, lots of money of all kinds, and all that jazz. Let's see here. So I am a little gagged at how Piper reacted to the situation. I thought that she was going to be the one, but she was not the 2, nor the 3, nor the 4, nor the 5. I was gagged, gooped, if you will, gizzard. Her mom called her bluff so well, and she knew her daughter was a princess. That doesn't take away from the fact that Piper does feel bad and she does have empathy for a lot that's happening in the world. And I think she is being hard on herself about this, but she also was faking the funk by being like, I could be in those situations. I don't need money and I don't need all that. Okay, so you then saw how they lived. You got to experience it. And in reality, you need air conditioning. You need food that you can enjoy, not food that's just provided to you and you can be all right with. She did. She wanted to be different. And I'm going to take it a little bit further. She wanted to be the opposite of Saxon so bad. They already had different point of views, but like that was going to be the thing to stick it to them. You know what I'm saying? Like very much like you could never do this if it was what it was. But it Piper, all tea, like it just wasn't. She's not that girl, and I think that Piper just needs to be okay with that because some people are very much born into privilege and they're not used to the harder life. I know of being someone who was raised. My dad had money at one point in time. We were living in a $2.5 million house. Then he lost everything, and I had to live in a hotel for 2 years until we were able to get back on our feet again. The world will change around you, and I did relate a little bit to this. My dad didn't do anything like fraud like this man did, but my dad made a bad business deal with a guy who stole just pretty much all of the money like out of like their accounts, like their business accounts and everything gone, never to be found. They got like bad, and it ruined the company. It ruined everything. It was just this big thing that happened, and Not gonna get into my personal business like that, but it was interesting to see how the father was taking this all in because he thought his daughter would be good. He hadn't talked to Lachlan yet, but he knew his wife and Saxon had very much stressed they are not going to be able to do well in a situation where they have nothing, and they would rather not be, the wife, I'd rather not be here, I'd rather not be alive. And then Saxon talking about, I don't have anything if I don't have you because I learned everything from you and this is my entire life. Like that set that dad spiraling. Like, my family is not going to be okay without me. This is not okay. What the hell am I going to do? This man took the fruit from the tree that he was told was the soup. I can't say that word. The unaliving tree, where people would sometimes take the seeds and grind them up so that they could take themselves out. Okay. And he actually took a whole bunch of fruit, ground up the seeds, and was going to make pina coladas because that was going to be the easiest way to mask how it was going to look and match what it needed to be. It was like, oh, let me get some rum and let me get some coconut, this, that, and the other, and we're going to put this together, and bam, and he was going to literally toast and take everybody out. This, I cannot get over this scene. Just handing everybody drinks. Like Parker Posey got her little pina colada. Saxon had one. Piper had one. Lachlan didn't have one because Lachlan is underage. No, I don't think he knew what was up with the pina colada. I think the smell was kind of like off putting, and he was like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just where his focus was. Uh, but again, not to say that the dad is a coward because he's not, but I think when that dad went to the Buddhist temple, mind you, after literally fixating and fantasizing about like taking out the family and himself because he was about to face the ultimate consequence for doing fraud, I think he started to really reevaluate his life, and he panics in the situations where everything seems to come to a head, but he just cannot do it. Just like Rick initially with the dad and pushing and not being able to shoot him the first time. This one couldn't do it. He was ready to face the consequences with his family. Isn't that crazy? Like, I was like, to me, this was wild because in that moment, he was like, yep, I can't do it. I just can't do it. We're going to just have to take, I'm just going to have to face the music, like right then and there. But they didn't know that. And the following day, I think it wasn't either it was either the following day or it was the day before. This is another reason why Lachlan didn't get nothing. I think his father, he talked to Lachlan. Lockie, how do you feel about? Yeah, it was the day before. He was like, yeah, how do you feel about if you had nothing? Would you be okay? Did you like the Buddhist retreat? He's like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I could stay. I could do that. I'd be fine. I'd be able to do all that. I'm also thinking, is Lachlan just a people pleaser? Like his personality trait is to be, and he knows that about himself now. But like, how about Lachlan making that protein smoothie to drink after, getting up and nobody was up, and he doesn't know what to do. His brother kind of like blases him a little bit. And he just makes himself a smoothie because, again, his brother was like, you got to start your day with a smoothie. Again, like something to say, oh, did you make a smoothie? Oh, wow, that's good. Like, what was gross is that Lachlan, oh, he just thought it was recently a protein shake that morning. Well, see, I figured that too, but I'm also like, the stuff at the bottom of it, I would have cleaned it out anyways. Like, I still wouldn't have made a protein shake with the remnants of whatever was just made, regardless. I'm just going to be real with you. That part still threw me off a tad bit because I'm like, people are nasty, but maybe Lachlan's gross like that. I mean, he did beat his brother, but like, no, that would have been rinsed out, cleaned, and then I would have actually then made another smoothie because I don't want what you just had. How long has that been sitting there? You know what I mean? Like, no. I'm not about to do all that. So Lachlan nasty. That's how he ended up almost passing here, which was wild to see. I thought the way that they did the scenes when someone was at the brink of death or was seeing like, you know, the next whatever for Lachlan and Rick was such a different contrast of what was happening. And it was interesting to see Mike's take on that with, you know, where they were in Thailand with Buddhism and all of that. And I just thought that was really beautiful. Seeing those monks, you know, above him while he was sinking in the water. I was just like, wow, this is heavy. And the family had went off for, you know, breakfast that morning because they just saw Lachlan over there, and I was like, okay, whatever. But when the dad wakes up later, you know, realizing, okay, I got to face the music, and he's looking for his family, and then he sees Lachlan. Like, I think that was his, again, he loves his family so much, and he's done everything for his family. He did get caught up in some bullshit, and he's starting to realize that the most important thing was these people to him. When everything falls, who is supposed to be there for him? His blood, the people, this wife, he chose all of that, and this scene was very heavy for me, and I'm glad that Lachlan actually didn't like pass in this moment because he probably didn't have enough of the seeds to do it in the first place since he made that original batch the previous day, and it was like whatever was the remnants at the bottom. But the scene on the boat when they're heading to the airport or whatever, back to the main island, so they and you know, Piper's kind of like, well, I kind of realize, you know, I'm actually a princess, and this was a great trip, but you know, a clarity moment. You see, Saxon is reading a book, everything that Chelsea gave him, as far as like you should really open your mind to things. Saxon's leaving with at least some sort of mind-opening experience, something different, something to humble him a little bit, make him more of a human being. And this one over here just experienced God and seeing the afterlife. So like, so I was just like, this is too much. Right, Chelsea's spirit lives on through Saxon, right? But then the dad, you know, sits everyone down, and because they're about to get their phones back, you know, on the boat, and he's just like, everything is about to change, and just know I love you, and I'm sorry, and we can get through this together as a family. And he moves back down. They're reading their phones, and they're just like, what? But it's like, yep, when we get back home, it's gonna be up. And I hope you are along for the ride because it is going to affect us all. And it's like, woo! Like, I'm glad that he will face the consequences, and he did not take out his family in this situation because he just didn't want to face the music, because that would have been like what? Like, really? Like, that's how you're going to do that? That's messed up. I'm glad they did it this way, and I'm also, I don't know, this family, this was weird to me, and it was wild. The brother stuff threw me off a tad bit, and I was a little bit like to that, but then I also realized that it wasn't really going into that level of the word I can't say on this platform. But there was more of a person wanting to please the people that he loved the most around them, the other one not getting his way and trying to figure out what the block is because he's God gift to everything. And that cross-firing over each other, and it being this confusion, as well as Piper being in the middle of this, trying to be so different than everyone around her to prove a point, while the mother just wants to have a good damn time and just be the best she can be. Like, Parker Posey deserves an Emmy nomination. I would say, you know, Saxon, you know, the actor who plays Saxon deserves one. Schwarzenegger's child definitely deserves an Emmy nomination. Who else I put in there? Chelsea's character deserves one. Give it to Natasha too. I enjoyed her this season. There was a lot of great performances. Hey, Camilla, on this season of the White Lotus, and to me, that's kind of what this. Oh, Carrie Coon too. Thank you for reminding me. Carrie Coon as well. Absolutely, Carrie Coon. Fuck yes, Lori. She was doing it. This was a lot of consequences, as well as like Do you change your virtues and your values in the moment to take you somewhere that could actually change your life for the better, or do you stay in the same lane you've always stayed in, doing the same things you always do, and you know it's not going to take you anywhere, but you know it's the right thing? It's what you've been taught. You're told the worst thing in the world is about to happen to you, and it's something that is going to, again, change your life. Just like all these moments, everyone's lives were literally on that path of life changing, and people being stuck in the past, like Lori and Rick, and some folks that, were looking towards the future, but they felt things were holding them back. Belinda with Tanya and the messing over the money, and sort of having to still be stuck in the same situation. And Gatuk, with it comes to how am I going to be this person of values and wanting this, and everyone's asking me to do things I don't want to do. There are so many levels to the way the season went, where a lot of the people who made it out, like say Belinda in this situation, she got the good ending. But will it be good later? You've got the family whose ending is bad, but will it be good for them as a family going forward, where they'll be closer because they're going to face their hardest times they've ever faced? We don't have a resolution for Rick and Chelsea because Rick and Chelsea. Okay. Gatuk made different decisions that ended up putting him in a position to where he is now more respected that he wanted. And the person that he wanted to impress the most finally sees him and knows his worth, like she said, and he proved it. Valentine gets to get away with theft, but Gatuk can at any point in time take him out. And the friend group got to address the past while being present for the future. Ooh, I did that. Oh, that was my favorite one. The way that was corny, but I did that. Address their past in the present for the future. See what I did there? Past, present, future. Either way, I did like this better than season 2. Not gonna lie. I had moments of season 2 that I really did like, but I was unsatisfied at the ending. It a little bit pissed me off. This one I enjoyed, and I appreciated them giving me more stories to look at. I didn't really care for what Rick was doing, I'm going to be honest with you, and then he ended up at the end of it all being one of the biggest plot twists and situations. But I hate how his character did Chelsea, and maybe that's good writing, but I really hate that storyline and how it went down for them. I thought that was wild. Like, that was so fucked up the way to go for Chelsea. But also Chelsea wanted that. Chelsea wanted that struggle and that strife, and she got exactly what she wanted. I, because as much I blame Rick, because it is Rick. Rick did all that, but like Chelsea wanted to be this Captain Save-A-Ho. Chelsea wanted to, be the maternal mother figure. I want to fix him. I want to fix him. That is something that is said in really situations where the relationship is ABU. Finish the rest of it. You know what I'm talking about. I loved Chelsea on the show, though, and I think that's kind of what Mike's job was, to make us really love her and to make us be like, she's got to get away from this, or maybe he'll change for her. Like, we were hoping those things. Didn't happen. They ended up losing their lives at the White Lotus. The family has to face the music. The friend group is repaired, restored, and moving forward, Belinda can change her life and finally be free of everything that has literally been weighing her down and do something that she's never done before. It was a very interesting season. Good Tuck is a hero and got the promotion, and his life changes for the better. It is a very, very interesting season. Yeah, Jose, that's the plan. Can you imagine? That's the plan. It's like, what? He was so cold. He was so a shell of a human. Do we blame his mother for that? Do we apply that to him? Do we blame both of them and say the mother had a big portion of that, but Rick is a grown ass man and Rick could have got healing if he wanted to? Funny how he ran to the therapist when he was in his worst predicament and he knew all the cards were falling down. And Rick ran to that therapist. You got to talk to me right now. I need the session right now. I got to talk to you right now and get the. Did he even need her, or was he just trying to hide? How was he going to get off the island? He has to get on the boat. The White Lotus was on an island, not near the mainland. How was he going to get on the boat? What boat was he going to go to? Oh my God. Yeah, everyone had to be. You were absolutely right, Jose. Lori's part in particular, really, that was the one that sat with me when it came to identity and recognizing who you are, your worth, and your wealth and power in this world, and not needing to be the next person across from you who also loves you and respects you. While you may have taken different paths, have different financial lives, this, that, and the other, you're at the table. That's your people. The good, the bad, the ugly. How do you take it? What do you receive from it? Do you hide yourself? Do you turn into the villain? Do you lash out at everything? Or do you receive it for what it is? Do you take it further? Do you challenge yourself to move in another direction? Chelsea could have moved in a different direction. Saxon was challenged to move in a different direction. He started to move. The compass tipped. Chelsea went back to it. Piper's identity. I don't need all of this. She needed all of it. Lachlan recognizes who he is as a person. He doesn't need anything, but he wants to make sure people around him are happy. The mother is fine with who the fuck she is, honey. And the dad, well, he was that man and he always was showing to be that guy, but he had to come to some realizations that his world was crumbling. And instead of taking himself out, he wants to face him. I still respect him for this. Like, he wants to face the music. He's got to. I mean, he's not going to, like, Alcatraz or nothing. Like, this is some corporate crime. So you already know he's gonna be going to a nice facility anyways. No shit. I'm not trying to bring that down. I'm just saying, like, he's not gonna be going to somewhere crazy, everybody. Just to be very clear, he's not going anywhere crazy. I don't know. How would y'all rate this season? Did you enjoy the White Lotus season 3? Did it tickle your tummy? Did it massage your brain, or was this one just a little all over the place for you? I'd love to hear your commentary and feedback in the comment section. It's really important for the algorithm, as well as you hitting this thumbs up button before you walk away from this video. I really do want to hear y'all's take. Where could they have gone with certain people's storylines? What storylines were very much where they needed to be? And also, what do you want from the next season? He said he doesn't want to do the crashing waves anymore. And the only thing I can think of him doing to where it would make sense and it wouldn't be like an overcrowded show and we could focus on people is if he did a cabin trip in the mountains. That'd be interesting. He could do a Vegas trip. And there'd be just a lot of stuff going on in the background, people focusing on things, but I don't know if that's going to really add to the same effect of like the White Lotus and this grand luxury. I feel a giant mountain-esque, almost giving the Shining kind of situation, hotel in the middle of the woods situation would probably be the best thing. Yeah. Jose, I cannot. Highlight for me. I'm glad they gave us the twist of the three friends ending up as friends instead of giving into the expectations of the gay show creator writing a stereotypical Real Housewives cat fight. Because they could have had Lori have this big moment of "fuck you, Jacqueline," and "fuck you, Kate. You've always trashed me my entire life. Eat this and spin on it." And then Lori's on the boat, fully like, "I'm fine. I finally got to have my peace," and the other two get to be bitches going through. Yeah, very glad that didn't happen. Very glad they also gave a realistic moment, because there are moments within friend groups that happen just like that, where they're going to have a break. There is going to be a disconnect. They're going to argue. They may bring up some old ass shit, but like, they're going to come back to the table again. And they're also going to address it, and they're going to move forward with it, because they've always been friends, and that's just real. Some people, yes, some folks are like, "That's not how my friends work." Well, honey, I'm glad it's always sunshine and roses for you. To be fair, every friend I've ever had, there's been some sort of moment. Whether I disagree with them, they disagree with me, or even with our other friends, we have seen the disagreement of, but we don't disconnect unless it's something serious. We ask, we understand, we then give our take on it and say how we feel, and then we check to see if the other person can get it, and then we literally move the fuck on. Because that's what you're supposed to do, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. It was sad for Lori for me. I feel like she regressed and gave up on finding better friends. You feel that way? Wow. I don't receive that. Because who's to say that Lori doesn't have friends outside of those two? This was a friend trip of them like reconnecting, because they're not like friends back at home like they used to be. These are some high school ass, we used to know each other in school ass friends that get together every now and then and do these like kind of trips kind of friends. And they're just kind of going into that sort of level where we could still be those girls. But I feel Lori has her own pocket of friends where she's from in New York. Same thing with Kate, and same thing with Jacqueline. Like, when Jacqueline leaves those two, she's going back to Hollywood to her boyfriend and in her bubble. Just like how Kate is doing. You know what I mean? I get where you're coming from, but I'm also like, but wait a minute. When she goes home, she about to be somewhere else. She about to be on some other tip, because she realizes that her friends who she was at whatever jealousy or whatever they did to her, she doesn't have to carry anymore. She can walk away from that and go, I like those bitches. They did me dirty, and fuck them on that kind of level. But at the same time, for what it's worth and what the value of our friendship, those are my girls. They're not going to be with me all the time, but they know my life. They know bits of me. There are people from school that I still keep in contact with. Very few. Very few. But when we speak, it is very random. And sometimes I'll see them in person and even go out, and then we go over things. And there are also moments that, you know what I'm saying? Where we may have had, you remember that one time, Matt, when you did this? And I'm like, what? I don't even remember doing all that. Well, that affected me. And I, as a person, could be like, why are you carrying that? But in reality, I'm like, I'm sorry I even did that shit, because I don't know why I would have done that in the first place. But when we separate, I go back to my other folks that I see like literally every week. This group I'm supposed to be going to tomorrow. So I don't know. It's an interesting way to look at it. And I can get where you're coming from on the regression part, because there was a moment I thought, yeah, she about to go in, but it didn't happen. So I said, okay, I still get it though. Time doesn't give life meaning. Yeah, that was heavy. That was heavy. It's also why I really do want to live in the moment more, and I want to stop being a worry wart and worrying about everything. Like, is this video doing well? Is this going to be monetized? Am I going to pay for this? I'm going to do all that. And I think that's where Belinda was at in her life, where it's always been a worry. It's always been, I've been trying, I've been fighting, I've been trying to get my life together and I finally get this opportunity because this man is literally threatening to take me out, possibly for me knowing his business. But it also wants to give me a piece of the pie that Tanya was supposed to give me that she effed me over for this dude. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lots to take from this season, I think. Lots of give and take, some tugs, some pulls here. I've been here for it. Next season, I want to see a bachelorette party friend group. Ooh, that would be interesting. And what if there's like pockets of like they're all at the same party for this bachelorette group, but we get the different subgroups within those sections. You know what I mean? Like the fact that the bachelor and the bachelorette chose to go to the same hotel, but they're not supposed to like see each other and they're supposed to cross over. One of the couples that's on the trip is in the bachelor group, and then one's in the bachelorette group, and then things happen and oh no, that'd be interesting. I'm just happy Belinda got her coin totas. Wave goodbye. Sad that what happened to Chelsea. And I just am, I like this series. I like this anthology series. To me, it feels a bit more meaningful, but it also is giving me the olden days of American Horror Story where the beginning seasons were so much more fun and so much more like intense to watch, and we were very happy to see each and every episode. And I'm praying that the director of the show does not get burned out or loses the plot of what he's doing with the way he frames these shows with going into the next season, because I like it a lot. It's very good to me. And I think The White Lotus is a show that everybody would enjoy that can watch it because it's for adults. But The White Lotus season 3, all the episodes are now on Max, HBO. If you have Max, I tune into that. Very good show, in my personal opinion. If you haven't seen seasons 1 or 2, highly recommend. Season 1 especially. Please don't compare Mike White to Ryan. I didn't compare. I just wanted to say at one point we were living for Rye. We were enjoying Ryan, but then it got into some other shit, and I haven't been able to look at anything he's produced or directed in a very long time and take him seriously. He's on Tyler Perry level as far as when I'm like, oh, he's doing this. So I'm going to expect a lot of implausible moments, a lot of very hypersexual, focused on the, echelon of Adonis, of man, and very just not good writing, not good story, none of it. Did I finish season 3? No, I haven't seen it in about 3 episodes. I just can't stand Shayna. I can't stand her character with an infinite passion. They're giving her way too much to do right now, and I just don't want to see it. I will finish it because I'm a completionist and I have to get that out of the way, just like I need to finish Severance right now. I will finish it, but I'll probably talk about it in the next let's talk. I probably will. Yeah, I will more than likely talk about that next week. Because it's dragging for me. I don't care about Shayna's family. Her daughter is annoying. Thaisa's story is weird. It's stupid. Like, as much as I want to be, very much feeling bad for Christina Ricci's Misty, I cannot stand Misty as a kid. Like, I cannot stand them. Y'all, do you know Euphoria is coming back? They said it was canceled. It's coming back, apparently. Zendaya is attached to it. That's how I feel about it. Oh, okay. Oh. Adrian, that's actually a good point. Maddie, I don't understand how the family didn't get sick from at least the fruit. They all took a sip, didn't they? They took more than a sip. Some were like the full bit. Speaking of which, the chicken I got yesterday at the grocery store expires today, so I need to cook it today. And I have to remind myself we're not frying it and we cannot put too much sauce on it. After our readings for our liver recently, we are on a clean diet right now, fruits and veggies, proteins, good carbs only. Okay. I made myself a wonderful breakfast taco this morning. Yeah. Yes, but yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I thought they would have at least woke up and had the runs, maybe a little vomit, a little bit of vomit, a little up chucking could have happened. But no, we got how'd you sleep? All right, can we go get breakfast? I was like, okay. Meanwhile, Lachlan had the whole damn thing and still survived. Maybe they were telling them that as a folklore, like it's a myth that people actually are taken out from it. Maybe it helps them experience that. It's like a hallucination. I don't know. I thought that was interesting too. But, there were moments of the show where I said, well, and then other times I'm like, okay, you got this is where we need to be. Thank you. Thank you. But I recommend it. Watch The White Lotus. It's a pretty good show. As a reminder, going forward, I will be covering The Last of Us on Max. So if you are a big fan of that season 1 show or you're a fan of the video game series, then no, I will be covering season 2. And I will be doing that each and every Tuesday. But instead of doing a live like this, long-winded, it's going to be shorter, edited reviews with, of course, screen grabs, green screen, whatever we're going to do with that, talking about said show. So please tune into that. I'm also going to be covering the new season of Black Mirror. So if you're a big fan of that show, be on the lookout for those reviews as well. Of course, I'm covering Drag Race, anything for the most part, but I'm also going to be bringing some new shows and some new ideas to the channel. I may be doing stuff that's very much 5 days a week, if you will. I just need to make sure the channel, I need to show that I really give a damn about this channel, and I want it to reflect with the numbers, and it's not right now, and it's a little bit heartbreaking. So I'm trying to make sure I please everyone, but also that I'm happy with the work that I'm doing. So I'm a little hard on myself right now. And if you saw my Twitter post today, I very much have been that way most of the day, but I'm going to get there. I know I just need to put the work in and do some more and do more with this channel, even more than I think that I'm doing. I think I'm doing a lot, but I'm apparently not. And I need for y'all to receive that right now, and I don't feel you do. So I'm going to put more work in for both Patreon and both the YouTube channel. I'm paying for a PO box that no one is sending anything to, and I just thought about that today. I got to pay $100-something this weekend for the PO box. No one's sending that. But y'all wanted it, and so I'm making sure it's open, and I'm trying to keep things going. So for those of you tuned into the live today that had some time, thank you very much. What you can do to help, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you leave a comment. Re-share this on your social media platforms. Get people to watch me, whether they like it or not. And that would be amazing. If you did want to drop a tippy poo in the jar, it's down there with the PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. That's up to you. It's not necessary, but it is very much appreciated. And yeah, tomorrow is the Lollapalooza. If you're a Patreon subscriber, I will have that reaction out tonight. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, tomorrow, I'll be going live early at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern to do the review with you tomorrow. And then I'll be also seen on Valerie Vision's channel whenever they post a review, because I'm going to be doing a panel collab with her and I believe somebody else. I'm not sure yet, but yes, whoever it is, I'll be excited to work with them. So yeah, thank you again for tuning in. I gave instructions already. Like, share, subscribe, get in the comment section. Drop it if you feel like it. My merch is available at dragqueenmerch.com. Bookable Cameo. I'm an affiliate partner with Paramount Plus. Get that free week on me. Shout out to those who have done that. I appreciate you for clicking that link. Thank you. Also, if you're interested in StreamYard, you probably saw that link in the description of the section. Go ahead and click that. Get yourself $10 off the first month if you need to use it for work, or if you're trying to do your own vlogs on your channel. There you go. Go ahead and click that link on me. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. I shall see you for the next one tomorrow in the panel. All right. Bye, everybody.
Listen. Yeah.